Hey everybody, Big Box Steve, Big Smooth back here, HSC Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate all the comments, new subscribers. Anything you guys would like us to talk about, feel free to just throw it in the comments. We have a couple subscribers asked about NBA and our sports talk. We do a lot of NFL, but we get the request. We're going to throw in some NBA for you as well. So all summer here, especially during the NFL off season, we'll be talking a little bit of NBA for you. And then tonight's, agenda real quick for our sports segment, we're going to do Olympics, just we're Olympics wrap up, talk about gold medal count, NFL talk. I got a cool topic for us tonight. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that topic. We're going to talk about some NFL legends. That'll be fun. And then NBA question of the day, which we'll have every week going forward. And we'll give you that question today here if you stick around and listen. So let's get into it. Okay. So Olympics just wrapped up. I overall, I liked it. I enjoy watching, some of the more extreme sports. But just like any other Olympics, I don't know how you feel. It's some of the not as popularized sports. They just kind of go unwatched for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, um, Caitlin said, it's just like, I'm not really into it because it's not as popular sport. I'm like, I love it. I love speed skating, anything with skiing and jumps or snowboarding. It's all cool. We're watching one that was it was speed skating relays, and that was crazy.
Right. I love
Um,
the speed skating. I think speed skating is one of the most exciting sports of Winter Olympics.
well, for me, it's like I don't know how to ice skate. That freaks me out. And they're out there and they're just like it's nothing to them.
Right.
And then of course, with USA winning both men's and women's hockey is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their gold count, right? Highest gold count for both of them, for the men and the women. Um, when you talk about the golds, that US won total. I guess the gold for the Olympics for the women winning hockey and men winning the hockey kind of puts them over the edge for the most golds that they've ever had in the Winter Olympics. Look at their total count, 12 golds. That's pretty good.
And we got kind of screwed on ice dancing. We should have had a gold there.
There was a few controversies. I mean, it wasn't without controversy this Olympics, and given the state of the world, why wouldn't we have controversy, right? I mean, do we have to pick at everything? Can we just leave the Olympics alone? Just let these people go out
Hey,
and
not when the ice dancing judges, all of them give the American chalk and baits the goal, the better
right.
scores. And then the French judge goes way off against them. That's where it's like a sketchy, Don King boxing thing where you have boxing judges where like everyone's 10-9 and then the other judge is like, oh, 7-10.
Right, right. Well, there's you break that down. I mean, there's arguments all over the place, right, about how that scoring went. What you're talking about, how there's a percentage of the judges, the more percentage scored them one way, and it was really far off what those judges gave them. And so you're right. That is questionable when you start looking at stuff like that. You got controversy around the United States in general, but even Canada in there, in curling, throwing in their own controversy. You've got dogs running out on the ice in the snow when people are skiing. That's the Winter Olympics, right? I mean,
That's
that's what
right.
it's all about. The funny thing is, I've seen a lot of this, and I want to talk about this. So Norway is the all-time leader in medals. Again, they are the leader this time, this for this Olympics. US wasn't far behind, 41 medals for Norway, 33 for US, and then 30 for Italy. That's your top three, right? But Norway out there with 18 golds, that's super impressive.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like people want to talk about this, like the U.S. should somehow win more gold medals or win more medals than Norway because they're a bigger country. And it's like, do you understand the Winter Olympics? This is in ice and snow. Like this
Right.
civilization from the dawn of their time lived in ice and snow, and that's all they do.
Right. It's North, you got Norse mythology and everything like that. Come on, like frost giants. Come on.
I just think it's funny that trying to make a comparison to like country size, and when you're talking about the doing what these people do in that area in that region of the world forever.
Well, and that's the thing is like you think about like Summer Olympics. You'll watch the Summer Olympics and the beginning, the US is not in first. They don't
Right.
get into first until track and field comes around.
Yeah, US does okay in swimming, and then they lose a lot of like the gymnastics and the diving and those kind of the diving specifically. And then yeah, once the field events start, they do a lot better. But you're also not going to see Norway winning 40 medals in the Summer Olympics.
Right.
So let's be realistic here.
Yeah, to be usually number one always in the summer and then second place in the winter is pretty good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're right there, and you're winning both Olympics. You have a good medal count in all the Olympics, so I don't think there's a lot to complain about there. But again, you got to give props to Norway. They come out. This is their Olympics. They master the Winter Olympics, and they just seem to do it every time.
But they can't win in hockey.
They can't. I mean, so the hockey's got to go down as one of the most uh, watched and inspirational parts of the Olympics because it's one, you got a great game. Like it's always great when it ends exciting. You got two teams and you play through this tournament style, which is cool, right? Because you earn your way there. And then that gold medal game really just becomes, that much more important. Not that other golds aren't as important, but you have a qualifier typically in a medal round in a lot of other sports. You're not playing all these games throughout the Olympics, and it just really makes it that much more exciting when you talk about hockey. And then to have the women's team and the men's team win, that
Beat
was pretty
Canada
cool.
both.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Canada. Oh, poor Canada. It's been a rough couple years. Maybe we should have just let them win. They're just that much more mad
Well, think
about it.
about it. Like you don't realize it's been 40, 46 years since the men have won a gold medal.
Right. Yeah, it was 1980. So you got to be happy about that, right? I mean, if nothing else, when going forward for the men's team, you got to look at, hey, we're back. We got a chance again. So hopefully they don't falter and over the next couple Olympics. I did see an interesting stat about hockey in general, especially the NHL. It used to be a lot more Canadians in the NHL than there is now percentage wise, right? That percentage was 70%, 60%. It's come down and down and down. And now the US has climbed back in that 30 to 40% range for NHL hockey players. So hockey must be coming back in America.
Yeah.
And this is a good way to get it excited again, right? You're gonna have a lot of people excited coming off this gold medal win.
Oh yeah. I mean, we watched Miracle after it. We're like, oh, watch the movie. Grayson's never seen it, so we're like, let's watch this.
Oh, that's great, right? You get a little history in there, and that just
Yeah.
makes it that much cooler. So just wrap up the Olympics there. It was great to watch. Next Olympics, you probably get different sports, you get things like that. What's a sport that or something you watched this year that you'd say, hey, check this out next Olympics?
Oh, I mean, there's so many that don't get. I mean, any of the luges or bobsleds or anything like that, those are just crazy to me, like how fast they are going.
Yeah,
So I always, that's something for me. There's like, I feel like there's so many obscure things for the Winter Olympics. Like just, in general, like the giant slalom or anything. It's just it's good to just watch a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Kind of get a
It's like,
feel for what you like.
yeah, I don't know though. Curling, I think curling's become the new darling though.
I know. That's what we talked about this last podcast. That's the reason I brought it up last time for a topic was it just seems to me like curling was everywhere for a while here as the Olympics kind of went through the whole process from beginning to end though. It's like you just never went away. It's just like we're still talking about curling, we're talking about when it started, we're talking about when it ended. So it seemed like there was a lot of curling talk this year.
Well, that was what's funny is I had a Facebook, what's a memory, and I posted 16 years ago, man, I love me some curling.
That's
16 years ago.
oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. And now you didn't realize how important curling was to your Olympic life.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's cool. It's cool. It's fun to watch. Like I said, we said before, maybe cut it down a little bit if we could streak a little time off of it. I would say that if you're not watching speed skating, like you need to get more into that personally, just because one, I enjoy it, but I think there's a level of excitement, like you were talking about, like now that you got relay speed skating, they got, your 500, your 1,000, your 1,500 different, sprint style to long distance. But here's the thing for me, it's like track in a sense, right? It feels like track, except you don't see track dudes sliding into the wall, you know, 30, 40, 50 miles an hour wherever they're going and just slamming into the wall. That's a cool part, right? There's a little bit of danger, there's a little bit of excitement in those crashes and taking each other out, right? You rarely will see that in a track meet, right? Where
Right.
two people collide or something like that.
That's like we get a little bit of roller derby.
Right. It's almost a little bit of roller derby on the in the Olympics. So that would be my advice for people, going to the next Olympics, or even if you want to watch, World Championships, everything that leads up to Olympics. It's cool to catch that. So all right, so goodbye Olympics and hello March Madness. We're not talking that today, but that's coming, right? So that's a big part of our podcast. We get a lot of that. So if you guys are haven't seen it before or you have seen it before, don't worry. We will have March Madness coming for you soon. But of course, this is an NFL started podcast, and we always, try to keep up with the NFL. Obviously, Super Bowl ended. We want to bring you some good NFL content. We'll have draft, off season. We'll have all that. And we're gonna do player breakdowns and a couple different ideas coming forward. But this one tonight, I thought this was interesting. I didn't see like any version of this, but uh, I saw somebody talking about this topic, which is NFL legends, and it kind of made me get to thinking. And I wanted to kind of hear, your thoughts and just kind of how you see it. When you look at some of these NFL legends and you go back, start thinking about them, the question is which NFL legend do you think will never be duplicated? Right. So when you're thinking about an NFL legend, like you just never see another guy like that.
I mean, I think you pretty much know my answer. I haven't wavered on this at all the whole time we've done this.
I mean, I'm guessing it's Jerry Rice.
It is. It's Jerry Rice. I mean, come on. Like, we did the stats of like how, like, someone like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, what they would have to do
Yeah.
to break his receiving record.
So statistics aside, how about just like, what Jerry Rice does on the field and, how he was as a player? What are some of those things that would make him duplicatable? If that's even a word. I don't think duplicable is a word, but we're using it tonight.
Well, I think the thing is like everyone talks about, Randy Moss and physical gifts and stuff like that. But then you're like Jerry Rice, oh, he only ran like a 4.6 40 at the combine. But then you watch highlights and he goes over the middle and catches it and then is gone.
Yeah.
And
Football
I just,
speed.
yeah. And then he would hit, then he'd also do, he'd have fly patterns, streaks, catch it, gone. You know, it's just for me, he could do anything as a receiver.
So how does that make him different? I mean, I guess Randy Moss has some special, to me, gifts physically, but let's say like a Jamar Chase. Like, how does that make Jamar Chase and Jerry Rice? What are some maybe little differences in that?
Well, I think the big difference is Jerry Rice did it for forever. And
Hmm.
he never had a drop down. If you look at some of these great receivers, they drop off a cliff real quick.
Yeah.
I
So you think
mean,
the sustainability is unmatched, that you'll never see sustainability like Jerry Rice?
well, yeah, because how old was he with the Raiders and he was still putting up
Right.
numbers?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got 20 plus years of numbers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time to play any position in the NFL, but even receiver, because you got to run, right? I guess the hardest part about playing a long time as receiver is you got to keep up with the younger DBs that are coming into the league that are getting faster and faster, and better by the year.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if we just, I think just no, a lot of his records won't be broken. I mean, career receptions, career receiving yards, career receiving yards in the playoffs, games with 100 plus receiving yards, career receiving touchdowns in the playoffs, career total touchdowns in the playoffs, career all-purpose yards in the playoffs, and most career Super Bowl receptions.
So many. That's just a because you list them, all in a row like that. It's hard probably for some people to fathom like how many that is and how hard that is. Because if you just said one or two of those, right, you're like, man, that's Hall of Fame receiver. And to go through all that whole list and all those different achievements, statistically, I think you're right. Like, I don't think there'll ever be someone to beat all those stats for sure. It's going to be
Now,
tough.
now, if you want to talk freakish athlete, like that no one has ever seen before, then it's Bo Jackson.
Yeah, Bo Jackson's such a tough one for people because he didn't play very long with the injury, right?
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people understand how good Bo Jackson would have been or should have been or was even for the short period of time.
Yeah. I mean, it was what he could have, if he wouldn't have got hurt, could have been a Hall of Famer in two sports.
Yeah. I mean, how amazing is that, right?
Right. Even Dion, because that's like the whole thing is like, oh, who's the better, Dion or Bo? And even Dion, because Dion in baseball was pretty much just a pinch runner.
Yeah.
And I mean, he wasn't hitting that much. He had lots of speed. But Bo was an all-star. He could have been an all-star and a Pro Bowler. But the problem with football is he came in like in game six because of the baseball season.
Yeah, it's really hard because it's not, they're overlapping, right? So you can't be a full two
Mhm.
sport star in those two sports.
But I think that's the thing. It's like people just now you don't realize because we saw it live and it was like how crazy he was. Like, if you would say the strongest running back and the fastest all in one.
Yeah. Which isn't fair when you're talking about a running back.
Right. Like when he like ran over Bosworth and just destroyed Bosworth's career.
Well, it is pure, I mean, just his physical presence, it's intimidating, but then he's going to do it where he's stronger and faster, than everybody else too. That's uh that's pretty intimidating, if you ask me. So I got one you're going to like here potentially. So I'm going a little older school with Richard Lane,
Night Train.
Dick Night Train Lane, as most people know him.
Yeah,
I guess the first thing when you think about if you're a historian, or a real big football fan where you even know who I'm talking about. So when I say Night Train Lane, like you have to have watched football for a while or studied football, or you have to be a student of the game, right? You probably have seen that, he holds the record for most interceptions in a season. Of just like some of Jerry Rice's that you just mentioned, a record a lot of people don't think, will be broken just because one, how long he's had it, and you look at historically, people have got to maybe 11. This is 14, but then you also look back and you're like, well, he also did that in a lot less games than these other guys are playing, right? And
Yeah.
I saw an equivalence calculator, things like that, where it said that would be like getting like almost 20 interceptions in today's
Mhm.
game.
Well, and they didn't throw the ball as much.
Right. And now there is a lot more opportunity for interceptions. But the thing that I would say that makes him, you know, there's no replication for him is also though you look at his tackling, like what's he really famous for? And it's the clothesline arm tackle, right? Like who does that? Who's out there on the football field clotheslining people? Well, Night Train Lane, that's who.
Well, there was a few Raiders back in the day that would do that too, but
I mean,
like
that's great, right? Now they get on a whole whole football
Tatum
field
and
doing it.
yeah, Tatum and Atkinson and Dr. Death. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing is back then it was sorry receivers.
Yeah. But you're just not going to see. I just don't see a modern day corner coming up and making tackles, especially not like that. But just in
Right.
general, right? The way you're forcing fumbles. You had guys like Peanut Tillman who were in there creating a lot of turnovers, but he wasn't the presence around like a shutdown corner. Like somebody's going to get 14 to 20 interceptions where I think when you look at his stats, but if you watch historical video, you watch him play, you watch any of those old games that you can still see, he's just doing it all. Like he's forcing turnovers, kind of controlling the game from a defensive corner position. And then just statistically, like he was very consistent over the years. He still is like, I think, fourth in the overall interceptions. But I just don't see that kind of play from guys anymore, right? Especially in the defensive
Yeah.
secondary.
Well, yeah, it's been a while. I could say because Lester Hayes in 1980, I know this
Right.
is 1980, so, but he
Yeah.
had 13 interceptions and he had five called back because of like a defensive penalty, not by him, but by someone else. So he could have had 18 that year.
Right. Yeah.
But
And
no,
you're
he
still talking
wasn't,
50 years ago.
yeah, but he wasn't the what you said, the intimidator. He was a cover corner.
Hmm.
You
Right.
haven't
And
seen, I'm trying to think of the last time you've seen like an intimidating corner because honestly, they can't be. The rules have changed so much.
they do have a limitation, right? I think that's, you think that offsets the more throwing of the ball to the sense where they can't play as much defense versus them seeing more, pass attempts these games that which one's hurting more or less?
Well, I get it, it's player safety, but think about it. Back even in like the 80s, you couldn't throw it over the middle and leave your guy hanging because he would get decapitated.
Yeah.
And even in the 90s. And now, okay, it's fine because you know he's not going to get the receiver's like, okay, I'm not going to get killed. So I could, I have no worry about going over the middle.
So there's more advantage or it's harder now because of the new rules for them to get more interceptions, or does more passing attempts give them the opportunity though to get more interceptions?
I think it's harder to get more of the interceptions because of the rules. So there's no like really
Right.
like they call pass inter. I mean, some of the calls in the playoffs were ridiculous for pass interference.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I mean, I'd probably be on the same page of I would make the argument it's harder to get more interceptions because of the limitations they have on how they can play defense.
Plus, with the advent of the West Coast offense and and then the run gun where it's just short passes. You're not getting the long passes as much as anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. A
So
lot
the
of
ball's
West
not in the
Coast.
air that often. You got, your good old Bears used to do with their little bubble screens.
Yeah.
It's hard to intercept those.
Well, I mean, the Bears have always been a run first though, too, on top of that, right? They're run the ball and let their defense, win and then short passes to try to control the ball. But like I said, it doesn't matter. The interceptions, I think, is a small part of what makes him, Night Train Lane unique. And the other part, like I said, and you mentioned this, I just don't know that you'll ever have a physical corner like that in this day and age in football, right?
Right.
We've seen a couple of safeties in our lifetime that you could say, man, those guys are physical, they're hitters, things like that. You still probably have a couple safeties in the league right now that you don't want coming down on you when you're going across the middle, right? And just taking your head off. But yeah, just not the same. And I don't know that that will ever be duplicated.
Right. Because I think if I'm talking physical and he went from corner to safety, the last one, and it's been years now, would be probably Rod Woodson.
Yeah, yeah. Rod Woodson is a good overall. When you look at him, he did all of it, right? He was a defender, he was a tackler, he was a team leader, a captain. Rod Woodson's pretty hard to duplicate. That would be a great NFL legend for this topic.
But
But
I mean,
that's the, go ahead.
Rod Woodson was Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott was the same. He started as a corner, changed to safety.
Right. Well, and Ronnie Lott was just such a hitter. I mean, everybody has their unique things, especially when you're talking secondary. There's so many athletes back there. You got the Ed Reeds and those type of players. But then you even got like the old school Chuck Cecil, who wasn't he was just out there, just crushing people. I don't even think he was paying attention to the game. He's like, I just want to hit somebody. That's fun to watch. Overall, great topic though. We're going to keep digging into some player topics, which focus kind of more on team players and look at historical players who's great and kind of compare them to what do they have now, what will they have going forward. So stay tuned for that. And kind of just jump into our next topic here, NBA. The question of the day. So today's question, I kind of want to make it specific around OKC because SGA's hurt right now, right? So you got Shea's out, been out for the better portion of 10 or more games. And to me, when I start watching some of these games, looking through the scores, the box scores, and they're not winning them all. It's not like they're undefeated without Shea on the court, but they're playing really good teams. They're playing them close, and then they're beating more than half of them. As they go, they played a game tonight against Detroit at home, top team in the East, or one of the top teams in the East and in the league, and you're still in a pretty close game at home against an OKC team without SGA.
right.
But in general, watching these games, I'm thinking to myself, well, if you can't beat OKC without SGA, like what chance do they have to stop them in the playoffs? And is Oklahoma City just that good?
I mean, I don't know. They lost to the Timberwolves. They lost to the Spurs, the Bucks, and then the Pistons. And it's hard. It's regular season basketball is so much different than playoff basketball. And I feel like nowadays, this day and age, do the players really try as hard in the regular season? And that's what you're saying is like, oh, these games were like the Pistons Thunder game was close. Well, it's probably because the Pistons didn't play like they were like, oh, SGA's not in. So we might have it easy, but they still won. Pistons still won.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's not like Oklahoma City is, beating everybody by a lot of points or even winning all the games without him. But when you're talking about, to me, the best player in the league
Right.
being
Well, and
out,
Chet wasn't playing either
right?
today.
He didn't play tonight, but he's been playing and he's been playing pretty good while SGA was hurt. But again,
But-
this is the best player in the league to me, and he's not in the lineup.
Right.
That looks to me like it makes it a very dangerous team. Because now, how much better do they get while he's gone, and the confidence they get from look how well we can play without him. What happens when he comes back in the lineup? How does that improve the team?
Yeah. Well, I know. But once you get to the playoffs, you're only going to be 8 man deep. So even if these guys that are getting the experience now probably aren't going to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a few guys that are getting time, of course. While he's sitting. I guess the best example you get though is like an Isaiah Joe, right? He's not getting the normal shots when SGA is playing, but then he comes out and he's hitting, four, five, six threes a game while he's not there, and he's gonna play, right? He's in that 8 man. Isaiah Joe's in that 8 man roster for the playoffs, of course. So that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing for him to realize, that he can do that in a game, and when they need him, you got that guy doing that. So a lot of good experience there for them. I don't know. For me, it looks like another a hard time beating OKC
Well,
going
yeah.
forward
I
this
mean,
year.
what can you say? I mean, Presti knows what he's doing
Hmm.
and they're stacked. But you still have teams, the Timberwolves, the Spurs. There are some good teams still in the West. But I think this is just another, sadly being a Knicks fan, I still think this is a year that whoever comes out of the West is winning. So,
Yeah, the East is surprisingly bad when you look at it. And I don't know how that Cleveland trade's going to play out with James Harden.
oh, he's hurt now.
Oh, great. That helps him. But it looks initially though that that's going to help them out, right? Take a little pressure off Donovan Mitchell, give them
Yeah, but then once
another
once
option,
Harden gets to the playoffs, come on, he disappears completely.
right? If you're looking at typical playoff James Harden, right?
Yeah. There needs to be a study of how far off one player can be from the regular season to the playoffs. Because I'm pretty sure James Harden's the worst.
He might be. We'll have to that'll be the we'll have the answer to that next podcast for you guys. And you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna clip this video and we're gonna show it. You're gonna react to it and see if you're right or wrong.
Yeah. I mean, he just
Yeah,
disappears in the playoffs. It's horrible.
yeah. Well, I mean, if we find out differently, James Harden might be coming after you. You don't know. He'll be like, "Man, this guy talking about me on this podcast."
Yeah, like he's gonna even care. He's gonna have a burner account.
Right, right. He's up here. He's got a bot trolling us. I'm sure. So that a quick question of the day for the NBA. Again, not a lot to get in right now because coming off the All-Star break, we talked about the big trades that happened. We talk about them going into load management and this kind of stuff. I think the NBA, for me, it gets more exciting every month. As they lead up into their playoffs, and I just hope for good games where the stars are playing the whole game, right? We actually get to see even when they're remember they used to be down 20 points, like they were still trying to come back. I feel like a lot of times these teams get down and they just kind of, oh well, we lost.
Well, we've seen playoff games like that. I've never seen before. Remember, I've never seen playoff games where it's like a 20, 30 point blowout. And then just
Well,
last year we had a few of those. They're like, wow.
yeah, teams just get murdered. Like you see it, you've seen it from time to time. I'm sure that it's happened, right? It just seems more more prevalent now.
Well, it's the everyone's shooting threes. You know, when
Yeah.
you're hitting. When you're not, and that creates a huge difference in the game.
It's kind of one of the tough parts about watching NBA these days because it is kind of fun, to watch them go around and just everybody's jacking up threes all the time. But it also makes for, these large blowouts.
Yeah.
And so you do see that a lot. And then we'll talk more about this at a later date, but comment on this in the set if you're NBA fan. Do the end of the basketball games need to get fixed? Like, do we gotta speed this up a little bit? Because come on, guys. It's like 30 seconds left. You're like, oh, this game's almost over. Then 30 minutes later, you're still watching.
Yeah.
So we got
Uh,
to dig into that question.
well, the old adage, the joke was, um, 30 seconds left in a basketball games is like a girl saying, "I'm almost ready to go."
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna love that one.
I know. I
Yeah.
not my joke. I've just
Yeah. It's not my joke. I'm just reminding everybody that it's out there. All right. Well, we'll wrap sports segment there. Don't forget to comment there. We got more NFL coming for you. Stay tuned for the March Madness coming up. A lot of good stuff on the schedule. Even got some golf, with Masters not too far out. So a lot of good stuff coming. Stick around. Don't forget to comment. And if you don't know, we run our movie segment next. So check out our weekly movie review coming up. We'll see you next time.